Hi everyone, and it's Omar Otuki again, back to discuss the DTS system in a little bit more detail. But first, I'd like to talk a little bit about how I came to use the diversified trading system. As you may know, I was a systems tester, both automated, manual, and hybrid systems, including trade copiers. So I've seen it all. I've seen very complicated systems. I've seen very simple systems. Some have so much information on the chart you don't even know that it's Forex anymore, and some just have a few arrows or color-coded buttons, essentially. Most of the stuff that I've seen out there really doesn't work, and that's why I was very skeptical when I was handed DTS. I thought, oh, okay, here's another good-looking trading program, but let's see if it can give consistent results. And to be honest with you, when I first started using it, I didn't pay that much attention to it. I was very focused on my own trading from the side, and I would listen to the audible alerts that DTS gives, and before I knew it, it drew me in. So let me show you what that means. What I have in front of us here is a chart of the Euro-Yen on a 30-minute candle, and these are standard good old candlesticks, and as you can see here, it shows you where the market is going for each half hour, but it really doesn't give you enough information on when it's going to turn, how it's going to turn, and when it's going to reverse. So we can see, oh yeah, it was in a downtrend and it bounced off approximately 100 area, so, and then it went sideways. So based on this, even with trend lines or horizontal support and resistance, do you know what the market's going to do next? Let me just move the chart along. Oh, it's sideways, sideways, sideways. Anybody want to venture a guess if this goes up or down? Make your mental note now. What's going to... Oh, well, it broke out down. From this area, though, we probably wouldn't know to get in a trade. Oh, the market spiked right back up and kind of continued to move sideways from where we are. So again, not a very pretty picture. You don't get a ton of useful information just from a standard candlestick chart. So let's now talk about how we can improve this vision by using Renko Bars. And the diversified trading system uses Renko Bars as the way it paints the picture. And what Renko gives you is it removes the time aspect out of the candles. So we only see bars painted when the market moves. And this is the same chart with the Renko bars instead. What you'll immediately notice is that the ups and downs are much cleaner. So that horrific looking sideways pattern actually comes out much shorter, goes a little up, a little down. But as you can see, the pivots, the swings in the market are much, much smoother. And that's because the sideways action of the time is removed. Of course, this still isn't enough information given to take good, consistent trades, because we don't know if this will turn into a double bottom or a triple bottom or a quadruple bottom. So we're going to need to add something more to that than this. But the Renkos, the reason I wanted to bring this up is it's a good example of why Renkos, just in visualizing the chart in a price action sense. Remember, I'm a primarily price action based trader. It gives a much clearer picture of what price is actually doing, rather than getting mired in the other chart as price meanders up and down inconsistently over a period of time. So now let's go ahead and look at what the Falcon swing trader looks like for the exact same chart. Alright, now here's the same chart again, this time with the DTS Falcon swing trading system applied. Now I know it might look confusing at first, so don't be confused with the sideways pattern. We would never be entering a trade in here because there's no good swing. The first good swing comes here at the end of the sideways pattern, funnily enough, and let's see what happens next. Okay, So after we had a good swing, we get a good short signal here. This short signal meets all the qualifications of what a good signal is, which I'm going to get into in depth in the training program. And as you can see, it created a very, very nice trade. As the market moved along, you remember that double bottom I was talking about? Well, here it is on the chart. We had probably, you would have taken this as a swing up. You would have entered here. Your stop would have been below the last swing, so you would have never been taken out. So as you can see, we take the best of the price action information that the Renko Bars give us and turn it into usable trading signals that can make you money. Alright, now that we have a basic understanding of what the diversified trading system looks like, I want to speak about the three individual pieces or three individual systems themselves and how they can be used in the market. What I've pulled up first is a pound US dollar chart, and this is the Eagle Trend Trader. As you recall, trend trading is for taking longer moves, getting bigger chunks out of the market, and trying to capture the bigger moves overall. As you can see here, the pound has been in a downtrend for a while. We got our first good signal here for entry, and as you can see, it continued on down for quite a while until an almost perfect reverse signal here. Of course, since the diversified trading system offers you so many options on how to trail your stop, you may have been out before then for even higher profits. You can see here, if you were going to be a little more aggressive, this would be the first entry. Slightly more conservative traders would have waited until price dropped under the shaded area and this line here for entry, but either way you would have done very well, and we would be looking at a move of over 100 pips for a risk of a maximum of about 30, which gives you that nice juicy high positive reward risk ratio that is vital to good trading. And in this case, you would have risked 30 for a potential of 100 pips gain, and that gives you more than 3 to 1. So you could lose your next two trades and still come out ahead. And that's the power of trend trading. We don't, once we put our order in here, we let DTS do the rest, and we can go about our business, or we can go ahead and find another trade on another pair. The thing I love about Forex and DTS together is that the combinations are endless. Even if you only have one system, you have many pairs to choose from, and after you get this trade going, you could go to another pair and look for another trade. So because they are all managed automatically, like I said, it takes a lot of the work out of trading. And that is the Eagle Trend Trader. I will be going in great detail in the training program as far as what the best signals look like, so that we can stack the deck in our favor, give us the best odds, and hopefully get the most out of the market. Let's move on to the Falcon Swing Trader and check out what that looks like. Alright, here is the Falcon Swing Trader set up on the Euro-Yen pair. Now personally, I center my trading around swing trading, and the Falcon has become my most used and my favorite one of the DTS systems to use, since it best fits what I try to achieve as a trader. And as you can see right away, the information is clean. It's not overwhelming, but it gives you just enough to make good trades. And green means go, red means sell. If everything lines up, take the trade. As you can see here, this was a really good setup, and had I been awake at 4:24 in the morning, which I wasn't, I would have been all over this one. It ran on for about 75 pips, and your risk would have been around 30 to 35, which gives you a little better than 2 to 1 reward risk ratio, which, as I always say, is one of the most important aspects of trading. The Falcon Swing Trader's information on the screen is designed specifically for swing trading, and right before the entry points, you can see these red dots on the candles. Every time one of those red dots paints, you will get an audible alert saying swing to check the market and see if you have a potential trade lining up. So you have plenty of time to know before you have to enter the trade. Doesn't have to be a rushed process here. And another nice thing about the DTS system is that these things paint in real time, and they don't repaint. I have seen so many systems that when you look at them on older charts, they look phenomenal. But when you try to trade it in real time, these arrows don't paint until the market's already down here, or this arrow would go away because the market reversed. The DTS is in real time, and it paints and it stays. There's no repainting. So that is a very important aspect of any manual system, because that's a lot of the ways marketers try to con you into the system by showing you historical charts that, wow, every signal looks like it wins, but when you trade it in real time, as soon as the market changes another direction, the signal goes away somehow. And DTS is not like that at all. And last but certainly not least is the Hawk Micro-Scalper. And as we discussed before, scalping in general is to take very small cuts out of the market, little pips, but have lots of opportunities during the day to do it. And depending on how fast the market is moving, this can range from a few signals within a few hours to many, many, many signals within a few hours. And here is a perfect example. Once again, this system is streamlined for the type of trading it is trying to accomplish. And you don't see the same information as on the other two systems. It gives you just enough to accomplish your goals without making the decision-making process hard. You can see here we had a good little turn, signal, fire, boom, almost 20 pips. And then it came back up to this important set of arrows, which of course I'm going to discuss in the training. We got another signal, boom, fired, good to go. Now this may appear to be a signal, but it never entered, because the signal bar is here, and we always take our entries below the signal bar, so it would have never fired. And also the other key component that I like to see, and I think is important, is that the market had turned and created a little tiny swing. Again, same thing here. The entry bar is here. We would have placed our trade below there, would have never entered. So just from this little sample, you can see that the system is very effective in getting these little cuts out of the market. This type of trading is great sometimes in very choppy markets, in where the other systems don't really work that well, or if you're somebody who likes to be in front of the computer and get a lot of action as far as trading goes. And like I said, it's powerful enough for a pro, but simple enough for a relative beginner to use. And each of these Renko bars is adjusted for scalping, and they're a little bit smaller. Once again, you have the full options as far as how you control your stop, but with scalping, I tend to choose bar high-low so that it just keeps trailing with the bar behind it. We're only trying to grab a few pips at a time, and it's more important that we win rather than take a full stop loss. So quickly trailing your stop is very important. And the Hawk Micro-Scalper makes it easy to see good trades in the market. And what more could you ask for when it comes to scalping?